Hi, Jamison. Just sum that up for me if you can.
It's a tough one to sum up, really, quite obviously we faced a fair bit of adversity, and it was going to be tough to win, but I think we still could have done better with what we had. As tough as it was going to be, we still would have, like I say, fancied ourselves to do better with the position we had, and unfortunately we weren't able to do that today. So, but in the same breath, you have to hand a lot of credit to South Africa, put us under immense pressure, and deserved victors, I suppose.
It's clear Ireland were out most of tonight by South Africa and the pack in particular. Just, do you think some of the stuff that went on during the week about South Africa claiming they were harshly dealt with by the officials was some sort of a mind game that worked some way in their favour during the game?
I don't really know, man, to be honest. I'll leave the forward stuff up to the forwards, and there's obviously plenty of learnings for everybody, but I'm sure those lads will say the same as well.
Do you think it's a defeat? That's fair enough. The battling and the experience of going through something like that will stand to Ireland going forward?
100%. Like I touched on the adversity piece, and when you're able to come through those games, like ideally you win the game, but sometimes there's huge learnings that come out of a loss like that as well. Like if you've touched on a little bit, like remember the Scottish game in Murrayfield, and things went our way that day, but they didn't go our way today. But there's still a huge amount of learning, and 100% I think it'll stand to us.
Would you help us out, Jamison? Is there any position that you don't want to play that you can't play across the back line?
No, not really. Look, I'm just happy to do a job for the team. At the end of the day, I love playing rugby. I would have played a number of positions growing up, and sometimes it's nice having a little bit more space to run around as opposed to being always at 9. But to your question, I love it, and we're just looking to do my job for the team at the end of the day.
When you're on the pitch there, is it hard to keep one of the out of the scrum? You probably would want to jump in there, and amid all the confusion, how did you rate Caelan Doris' leadership? Because we had suggested to him that he had lots of jobs going on. How did you rate that on the day?
Yeah, look, I thought he was great, but in the same breath, I wouldn't single him out. There's a lot of great leaders in this team, and there's when stuff like that happens, there's so many conversations going on because people are in different positions. We have to change our game plan small, but there's so much going on. That it's not just a one-man job. We're lucky to have great coaches and great leaders alike. So, but yeah, like I said, there's so many different things going on when you're down to 12 men, especially, and you just have to make things work. And I think although we're on the wrong side of the result today, we showed a fair bit of character, I suppose.
So we just talked about the 24th man, and you're all trying to talk to each other, and there's 53,000 Irish fans gone berserk outside the stadium cheering every tackle. That period from 50 to 60, 65 minutes, the crowd were really, really down. So they're encouraging you, but they're also in your way. What did you make of the reaction of the Irish fans? They really wanted you to do well.
Exactly, I thought they were unbelievable. Even the period when we went down to 12. We needed them on the line, and they showed up for us, and I thought the support throughout was incredible on a day where we really needed it, and so yeah, kudos to the supporters, man. I think they were great.
Jamison, just overall on the wider scale, it's 50-50. It's 1-2 games against Japan and Australia. The New Zealand game kind of got away from you. You could have won that game. South Africa tonight, obviously a bit of a different game, but do you think you're learning from that you can compete with the likes of South Africa and New Zealand and beat them going forward, for instance, say the next World Cup and that?
Yeah, 100%. Belief is a huge thing, isn't it, really? And I think that's something we're looking to build and continue to do so. So you touched on the New Zealand game. I think we were pretty disappointed post that because I think that was a fair reflection of the team we are, and there's a lot of different things that contribute to that. But we built a bit of momentum. Japan wasn't perfect, Aussie wasn't perfect, but we were able to get the results, and we felt pretty good coming into tonight. And it was just the story of the game was a pretty crazy one, but there's going to be huge learnings from it for sure.
Thanks, Jamison.
Sorry, just very lastly, what's your overall feeling kind of post-match when you take a few seconds to digest? Is it frustration at how it played out? Is it pride? Like, what's the overriding feeling, I suppose?
There's probably a few in my head at the moment. Like pride is certainly one. I think I've touched on already. Just like lads showed a lot of character. When you face a bit of adversity and your back's against the wall, a lot of the times it shows what kind of person you are, and it can be a lot of lads that can be very proud of themselves today. I thought they've fought unbelievably hard, and although it was going to be tough, I thought we showed great character at times. So yeah, I suppose pride and a little bit of frustration, a little bit of anger. There's a lot spinning around in my head at the moment, but it'll be one to look back at, like I've touched on, and learn from, and hopefully, like I said, it'll stand to us.